Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Football Fan Show podcast. The Football Fan Show, but in a neat podcast form. I am your host, as always, Danny Harrington. Joining me this week is Callum Brown. He joined me on the live stream on Saturday. I nearly said yesterday. Saturday on Twitch. Now, a disclaimer. We talk ahead of the Liverpool-Manchester United match. I'm now sat here having watched the match, realising it was actually not worth talking about, but hey, we'll leave it in for content's sakes. Also, we're talking Derby County. Are they doomed because they've appointed Wayne Rooney as their manager, who's hung up his boots? We're talking Wolves, and should they be worried about being 6 games without a win? And I don't know about you, but did you survive the end of the world on Tuesday? Because Sheffield United actually won a match. Haha. Stay tuned, it's a bumpy ride, and thank you so much for tuning into this week's edition of the podcast. Don't forget you can watch the live show every Saturday night from 7 p.m. on twitch.tv/the Football Fan Show. You can search for us on YouTube. We have our channel back after Google incorrectly deleted us, the bastards. Just search the Football Fan Show live on YouTube. And you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Football Fan Show, and tweet us. We are at TFFS Live on Twitter. And you will have more news and tell you when we're going live next. Enjoy this week's edition of the podcast. Let's talk Derby. Let's talk about Derby. Derby County. The question I'm asking is, have they doomed, to give it a proper kind of terrible radio over exaggeration, doomed themselves to relegation?
What position are they in right now?
By appointing Wayne Rooney as their manager. Derby County. Derby in the Championship. Obviously, they had Philip Cocu as their manager at the start of the season. They lost 1-0 today, and they are currently 23rd in the Championship. Second bottom, just 3 points above Wycombe.
Oh, Wycombe.
Sorry, 4 points above Wycombe. And then they are also, to be fair, Sheffield Wednesday are on 19 points, as are Rotherham, who beat them by a goal to 0. So if Derby County hadn't lost today, they would have been 22nd.
Right. I mean, aren't they getting Derby getting new owners in?
Apparently, yes. So Derby have appointed Wayne Rooney, who has retired. They are getting. He has sent a clear message about the protracted takeover and transfer plans of Derby County. They are trying to get this takeover finalised. Rooney said, "We have a lot of games left, and I am confident in my ability and the staff's ability, and I am confident in the players' ability to get us out of the mess we're in. Of course, we could do with a bit of help in the next 2 weeks in terms of getting players in. So hopefully the takeover is done as quickly as possible, and it will allow us to try and bring in some players that I have identified that I would like to bring in, and we can start adding players to the squad." First of all, before we get on to the whether it'll be an absolute failure or not, which is a potentially very harsh way of putting it, as a player, because he has now hung up his boots. He's not a player manager, he is a manager. Wayne Rooney always frustrates me when everyone says he's the greatest of all time, or one of the best strikers in the world, or a world-class striker, because I don't think he was. I think he was very good in a very good team for Manchester United, but put him in the England team, and he was absolutely shite. And then, obviously we all remember that goal he scored against Arsenal for Everton, which announced his arrival, which was one of the best goals in the history of the Premier League. But by the age of 30, he was done.
Yeah.
As soon as he hit the age of 30, it was like he hit a wall.
Lost his pace.
Yeah,
Lost.
it's
His
like he
legs
just hit
went
the
on him.
wall. Yeah,
Because
and without that, he wasn't.
He,
Yeah,
I don't think he was ever rapid, but he had pace on him. He could run, but then he lost his pace, and then United were like, yeah, we're not, we don't want you there. Got rid of him, and then he, went back to Everton. Didn't work out. And that's why he went to MLS, didn't he?
DC United.
That mighty.
He was causing a few riots before there were riots in DC, and then, sorry, and then he went to Derby as a player coach, and then now he's the manager. I'm really I think it's a poison chalice, no matter whoever was going to take over.
It's going to be a tough job. I think for me personally, for his first job, it's a bit. I think it might be a bit too much to keep them up. I just hope it doesn't. With it being obviously New England English manager, I just hope it doesn't affect sort of his confidence or his legacy or anything. I just don't think he might do okay, but I mean, I don't know everything about Derby, but I just think it's going to be just very, very, very tough.
I was going to say that I've said often on this program that I never saw Frank Lampard being a successful manager. Do I see Wayne Rooney being a successful manager? Not at Derby. Not at Derby. He's taken on a poison chalice. And to be fair, Wayne Rooney has the greatest excuse in the world if he fails. Too big a job for my first job. But you look at Frank Lampard's first job, you look at Steven Gerrard's first job. They're with... Frank Lampard's Derby were not expected to get promoted, and yet they were still up there trying to push for it, and then he leaves for Chelsea. Probably would have... Second season, I'm not sure whether he would have finished in the same position, but that's a hypothetical, and there's no point in arguing over hypotheticals. But Steven Gerrard, obviously, it's taken time for him, but look at where Rangers are. So it was the perfect job for him to take on at that moment, and maybe you could argue that Steven Gerrard is slightly better equipped than Frank Lampard because he's had more time to learn and develop, whereas Frank Lampard decided to jump in at the deep end.
That's when he's thrown himself right at this Chelsea job, and it's like, bit too much, bit too soon. I mean, I'm not saying this because I prefer Gerrard as a player to Lampard, but I know it's obviously it's a Scottish Premiership. It's not exactly the highest level of football, but to do what they're doing, I think are they still unbeaten, Rangers?
Yes, something like that.
And they've got some good. I'm not saying that the team. I'm saying every player is great. But I've seen some of their players. Some of their players look very good. I think that's the best place right now. It's the best place for them to play his trade. If he can get a couple of trophies under his belt, I think as soon as he, I think it's pretty much nailed on now. Obviously, not going to jinx anything, but I think the title is going to be theirs.
Yeah.
I think that once that gets under the belt, that just alleviates so much pressure, and then you got the freedom then to go and, maybe get another, not so much focus on the league. I mean, obviously they'll be expected to go again next season, but then he can try and because they'll be in obviously Champions League next season. I don't know how far they'll get in it. But I reckon it's just the best place to just go and improve himself.
Yeah, I reckon any Scottish club that gets to the last 16 of the Champions League would consider that a minor miracle.
Because Celtic don't seem to do it.
Yeah, because Celtic have been so mediocre in Europe for
too long.
For too long, and even it was setting in towards the end of Rodgers' stint with the club, and he'd actually done quite well in Europe with them. But towards the end of his run, and now with Lennon, like Celtic were quite mediocre in Europe. So that's why I'm like, Steven Gerrard has taken time to get to know himself as a manager and learn some valuable lessons, whereas somebody like Lampard has just dove in at the deep end, and I'm thinking Wayne Rooney's done the same at Derby.
Well, you forget. Well, the thing is, you're forgetting even, not even. I'm not saying forgetting, but forget even Chelsea. Throwing yourself into the Championship, which is a very, very hard competitive league, as your first job. As I said, Scottish football is a high level. I wouldn't say it's. I mean, I'd say Championship is obviously harder, especially if you're going for promotion in the Championship. So I reckon I'm glad Gerrard didn't put himself into one of those jobs, because I think it might have been too much as his first one. And obviously, Lampard did well. Okay, yeah, he ultimately didn't get promoted. But then he's gone, oh yeah, I'll just go and throw myself at this Chelsea job.
I've done quite well here at Derby. Maybe I can do the same at Chelsea. And to be fair, in his first season he did, but
it's a different different
beast.
expectations, different size club. Yeah, different beast, as you said. It's like it'd be like if Gerrard, instead of going to Rangers, had gone to a mid-table Championship club from promotion, and then didn't get promoted, and then came over and took over from us at Liverpool.
Do you reckon Wayne, going back to Wayne Rooney, do you reckon he should have just declined the job and just gone, I'll be the caretaker, but I'll be and then I'll do whatever else you want me to be, but I won't be manager?
I think, to be honest, I think it's come a time where I think he's probably wanting to hang his boots up anyway. What was he, 35?
Yeah.
He's probably wanting to stop playing anyway. And I think he was just thinking, you know what, I've got my coaching badges. I'm already technically manager here. I'll just take the manager full time. I don't know if it would have been his first choice if he, hung his boots up and then took some time out and then got a couple of job offers. I don't, because he was saying like, oh, it's he instinctively, even though there's multiple offers, he instinctively knew that Derby where he wants to be. And I'm thinking, well, obviously we don't know everything, but I think if he'd had a couple of offers from the Championship clubs, I don't think Derby would have been his first choice.
I'm gonna on that. Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but on that, and I just want to throw a grenade at you here. I think if he had waited until the end of the season, I think he could have been a shout for the Celtic job.
Ooh, I mean, would the fans have accepted him? Like they would have expected him to come in and
But like Gerrard, Celtic clearly need rebuilding.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
So,
well, they could,
But he is at Derby. It's a hypothetical, but
yeah,
don't dwell on it. It's only a hypothetical. But it just crossed my mind that I thought, oh, well, since we're talking about Gerrard and the job that he's done at Rangers and the time he's been given, maybe Rooney should have gone to Celtic or waited until the end of the season for Lennon to go. But you never know. Maybe. But he is at Derby. Where do you see them finishing? Will they be in the Championship next season, or will they be in League One?
Derby. I think probably the best he can do is probably just avoid regular relegation. I mean, I don't know really.
I'm having a look at their upcoming fixtures. They've got Bournemouth at home on Tuesday, and then they're away at QPR, who were debating getting rid of their manager as well. Bournemouth have just lost to Luton Town, although Bournemouth are still up there in terms of fighting for promotion, and QPR are a bit more mid-table. This isn't technically his first game in charge, though. I would say that he has had other games. Okay, the 4-0 win against Birmingham City in the back end of December, very good result on the 29th of December. But losing 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday, that's going to cost you in the long run. Losing 1-0 to Preston North End, that's going to cost you in the long run. Losing 1-0 like you did today to Rotherham United, that's going to cost you in the long run. So it's great to get an occasional 4-0 win, but if you're losing to the teams around you, you're really not going to survive.
That's what I mean. They're the teams you've got to be getting your points against, especially when you're down there. I think it's going to be a thing of sort of ups and downs. He's going to have. He will probably have some good results, but then he's also have some bad results. I think part of it will depend on what teams around him get on. You know how they get on. So if there's bang average as they've been already, they could just get out of it. They could. I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult because it's pure speculation at this moment.
Yeah.
All we can say is good luck to him, and I hope he proves. I reckon they go down, based on the fact that he doesn't have managerial experience apart from the couple of games that he's had in charge of Derby. And let's be fair, I've not watched Derby. They could play the most outstanding football ever, but they're still losing. So, call me an idiot. But did you feel it? Did you feel the atmosphere change on Tuesday, Callum? There was a world-ending event, and the pandemic hasn't ended the world. But Sheffield United finally winning, mate.
I mean, that's
Jesus Christ.
That's something like biblical, unprecedented biblical.
That's like, when Moses parted the Red Sea in the Bible. That's that kind of level of biblical. Sheffield United actually winning a game. That's how biblical. It is.
Funny that, as I was saying to you before, it's funny how it's Newcastle of all teams.
Yeah, why is it always Newcastle? So, when we were talking earlier on in the season and asking the question, is this Fulham team as bad as that Derby County team? Well, that Derby County team in 2008 beat Newcastle.
Yeah, we're saying...
So Sheffield United have now beaten Newcastle.
Mm-hmm. It's just Newcastle being... It's just sad. Steve Bruce in a good mood. He sounds to be a bit generous. Going, you are Sheffield. I feel sorry for you, Chris.
Charity. All I've got running through my head is that really depressing cover version of Mad World by Tears for Fears. The Michael Gray, not Michael Gray, like Andrew Gray or something like that. The really depressing, miserable one that's really slow. And that's all I've got running through my head whenever I think of Sheffield United. When I think of the Newcastle United team after the Sheffield United defeat. I mean, Sheffield United were on Saturday only just beating Bristol Rovers in the FA Cup by 3-2. So, I mean, that really couldn't have given them much confidence. And then losing the previous game to Crystal Palace by 2-0 and losing 1-0 to Burnley surely wasn't. I think Sheffield United have been unlucky in certain games. The Manchester United game springs to mind where they lost 3-2. They're unlucky in that one.
They weren't great though against them.
Oh no, they weren't great. They haven't been great at any point, but
I watched that match, and one of the Man United goals was literally, I don't know how many, I think Rashford scored it. It was a long ball over the top, way too easy. Too easy. Like, that looked like, Sheffield United's defence this season looks like Championship or worse defence this season. They just look bad.
Their failure to beat Fulham, who they drew 1-1 against. They lost 1-0 to Leeds in a Yorkshire derby. They lost 1-0 to Villa, although they got that red card in that game, and I thought they were slightly unlucky. I think they lost 1-0 to West Brom, didn't they? They were unlucky to lose 2-0 to Leicester, although Leicester were the better team in that game, let's be fair. Well, and to be fair, they got a positive result against Brighton by drawing 1-1 with 10 men on towards Christmas. So, if it's a corner turn that they think they've had, let me just end those misnomers right now, because their next 3 games, Callum, they have Tottenham tomorrow at home, 2:00. Let's face it, they're probably not going to win that.
They could get a draw out of that because Mourinho will do what he always does: score first and then defend a 1-0 lead and then concede, like he did against Fulham.
Then they have Manchester United away, who somehow are top of the Premier League.
now.
For now until tomorrow. And then Manchester City away. So they've got both Manchester clubs. But I would say that those three matches aren't indicators. The real indicator is when the following game, on the first game of February, they're at home to West Bromwich Albion.
Oh, Big Sam will be up for that.
Big Sam will be up for that because he'll see that as a 3-pointer. But then so will Chris Wilder.
Well, I mean, the thing is that it's all great. You're saying about the results they've had. Picking up these little points every now and then. Great results, but it's gotten to a point now where it's not enough. They just need to start winning, do anything. Start. The thing is, they're that far from safety. What are they on? 4 points now? Oh no, not 4 points, but they're like 12 points from safety or something, aren't they? Or they were. It's gotten that bad. They just need to keep. They can't draws will feel like defeats now. 5
points, and they are 11 points behind Burnley in 17th.
Yeah, I mean, it's beyond crunch time.
Yeah,
like they're right on the precipice. Like they need to just win no matter what. Their first defeat that comes up, they'll just start teetering over the edge a little bit. And it's good. It's going to require sort of mental fortitude of like ridiculous levels.
I don't see them. I don't see them staying up. They need a striker.
They brought in a striker. I told you they brought in Ryan Brewster from us, who's a goal scorer, and they're just not giving him a chance. Like, how much worse could he do than what they've already got?
I mean, yeah, they should give him a.
What they paid? How much? I can't remember how much they even paid.
20-odd million.
Yeah, 20-odd million for a kid who sits on the bench. Like, he wasn't even like, couldn't even get a game for us. We managed to rob 20-odd million off him. Like, sorry, Sheffield United, but he's a very good player, Brewster. But that's what I mean. They're not even giving him a chance.
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah, they need to give. Well, they need ideas. They need somebody. They just need. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel now goals. For ideas. They're not creating goals. They're not scoring them.
They can't defend at all, and they're not scoring goals.
Well, as we've said last season, they had Henderson in goal, who was able to keep goals out, and this year they don't have that.
Well, not even that. Their defence just looked resolute because they didn't get injuries. They're back five with Baldock and Ender Stevens, with I can't remember the defenders, but they were all the same players all the time. And Dean Henderson must have said, how we say how they can save points by themselves just by their performances, the goalkeepers. Like, as I said to you last week, they should have done everything they can to try and keep Dean Henderson. Whether it was on another season-long loan, if they couldn't get the money to buy him, but they needed to try and keep him, because they bought Aaron Ramsdale in, and I'm not saying he's a bad goalkeeper, but he's nowhere near Dean Henderson. He's nowhere near. Like, he could easily be. He reminds you a bit like Villa just bought in Emiliano Martinez from Arsenal, and he was their number 2. He's too good to be a number 2. Dean Henderson could easily be a number 1 at any club in the Premier League. I think he's too big to be sitting on the bench for Man United. So they should have done everything they can to keep hold of him, and they didn't. So they have to spend out on a keeper who isn't as good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the striker that I told them to. I think it was Saeed Benrahma from Brentford that I told him to go after, but he's obviously on loan now at West Ham.
West Ham buy him?
Yeah, no, he's on loan at West Ham. He's only on loan.
I thought they'd pay like 30 million for him.
Nope, it's a season-long loan with an agreement to make the transfer permanent. But as I said in the summer window, I think they should have gone for him. They needed somebody like that. I know Ollie Watkins went to Villa, so they need somebody like that. And You know.
Who's Brentford got now? Who's they buy in?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, they've got Ivan Toney. Sorry, Ivan Toney.
Yeah, Ivan
who
Toney.
They bought him
He's
from
beast.
Peterborough.
Yeah. Ivan Toney has been beast. They need to get someone like him, guaranteed goal scorer.
Yeah, or you've got Adam Armstrong at Blackburn, who's got the same amount of goals as Ivan Toney.
Just need a guaranteed goal scorer, because who are they playing up front at the moment?
Sheffield. Let's have a look at the. Let's have a look at the.
Isn't it Billy, 40-year-old Billy Sharp and someone else?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the formation from the Newcastle game, and it was McGoldrick and Burke that was up front for Sheffield United. And then Billy Sharp came off the bench, who is ancient, because I remember when he used to play for Doncaster.
He's played for all kinds of people, Billy Sharp, hasn't he?
Billy Sharp is the kind of player that I always assumed would never make it to the Premier League, like a Simon Cox, very good, too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Premier League. But somehow, he's made it. Chris Wood is also another player that comes to mind for that. But go on.
Yeah, I mean, they just need someone who's going to guarantee them goals, who's going to get in that area. So I think God help Brentford, they keep on getting these really good players who keep on getting bought up because they're too good for the Championship. I mean, look at what Ollie Watkins has done. If you can get, I'm not saying that Ivan Toney's going to by himself get them up to, let them do what Villa are doing this season. But they just need someone to score them goals.
I was going to say, I don't see Ivan Toney leaving Brentford because he only just joined them in the summer, but somebody like Adam Armstrong.
Yeah, something like that.
But they need somebody. They need.
Thing is, Ivan Toney, as soon as he gets to move to the Premier League, someone's going to go for him. The next chance, the first chance he can get.
Yeah, and I was going to say Adam Armstrong cost him a pretty penny because he's only 23, and he's scored 16 goals this season. He's been at Blackburn since 2018.
Didn't he play for Newcastle?
Yep, he's from Newcastle upon Tyne. So he is a Geordie, but he's been there 112. Go on.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on sorry to interrupt there, but I've been keeping an eye on Blackburn this season because of Harvey Elliott being on loan there, doing very well. So I've seen a couple of their matches, and Armstrong does look very good. But yeah, I mean, as I said, Sheffield United just need a guaranteed goal scorer, and that's not me saying they should go and, like a 30-year-old, whatever. Just get someone, regardless of what age, that is going to be in the area to score the goals. That's it.
I mean, I think, with where everybody is, we've already talked about Ivan Toney. I mean, Brentford are fourth; they're still competing for promotion, but Blackburn Rovers are mid-table. So Adam Armstrong, if you make an offer for Adam Armstrong, he's probably going to go to the club and say, you know what, I'm going to hand in this transfer request because I'm the club's top goal scorer, I'm the second top goal scorer in the Championship, joint with Ivan Toney. He's up there with Brentford competing for promotion. We're in mid-table. If I leave, this could be a shot at the Premier League.
Well, yeah. I mean, how much would he go for?
Well, how much did Ollie Watkins go for?
Was it 30
Something
million?
ridiculous, yeah. I would say anything above 20 million.
Yeah, that's
considering he's 23, he's English, he's the joint top goal scorer in the Championship. He's been at Blackburn for since 2018. It depends how long he's got left on his contract, which I'm not sure about. I would have to have a look, but I don't know because he signed his contract. He joined Blackburn in 2018. Has he signed a contract extension? So he signed a 4-year contract, so he's got a year and a half left on his contract. And he only joined Blackburn for 1.75 million, but he's got a year and a half left on his contract. So they can demand good money for him.
Well, at the end of the season, in the summer, if Blackburn don't extend, then they'll lower the price. They can still probably ask for 15-20 million though.
Yeah. but would they get it, or would they rather just wait for a year and just get him on a free? But I know he's still young. He's only 23. But I think
the thing is, there's loads of clubs in the Premier League that could do with with that kind of player.
Mm. Yeah, actually,
West Brom. I reckon
Fulham,
even clubs like Fulham, Crystal Palace, even
yeah. Burnley.
I mean, no, simply because is he a big target man?
Actually, no. Burnley's
I
mean,
they
choice.
They play. Was it Wood and what's his name? Wood and Barnes up from two big target men. Doesn't make sense, but
no.
I don't think Armstrong.
Why would you go from Blackburn to Burnley? They're heated rivals.
Exactly.
That's one way to piss people off. Fulham, United, Sheffield, West Brom, Palace.
I wouldn't mind. There was an option.
Yeah, I think Ollie Watkins was also a transfer target of Palace before he went to Villa. Or they were looking at Ben Rama. Sorry, Crystal Palace were looking at Ben Rama from Brentford.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Watkins, and obviously it didn't happen. But then Palace fans would argue, well, we got Benteke. Okay, yeah, he's not the greatest striker in the world, but he's still okay, and he's still good for goals.
I still think they're over reliant on Zaha. They bought in
totally.
Eze in that from QPR, who's good, but he's playing on left midfield for them. I still reckon they could do with a player to play up front next to Zaha. I think because it's either Benteke or Jordan Ayew.
It frustrates me that Crystal Palace never did what Aston Villa are doing with Grealish, because they're building a team around Grealish. So Grealish is the main man for Aston Villa. Mm-hmm. Crystal Palace should have built a team around Wilfried Zaha and brought in players to exercise the positives of Zaha's play, and then brought in players to cover the weaknesses as well.
But that would mean I'm to change the style of play and the formation and as you said, the personnel, and Roy Hodgson won't do that.
Mm-hmm. They would have had to got rid of the manager.
Yeah, it might be a case where they have to change the manager, because then you're then reliant on 90-year-old Roy Hodgson to change his ways.
700-year-old Roy Hodgson, who's been playing football for the same style for the last 700 years. Could you imagine like a manager like Nuno Espirito Santos managing Wilfried Zaha? Let's face it, if Zaha was at Wolves, he would be the man. But him and
Zaha up front.
Oh Jesus Christ! It would just be a gluttony of goals, I'd just imagine. But they never did. They never decided to build that team around him, and I think they'll regret it when he eventually either packs up his bags and leaves, or whether he hangs up his boots. I think they'll very much regret that.
I was just gonna say, I'm surprised, and I think Chris Paul's been lucky that Zaha hasn't left yet. I thought he would have by now.
I think he's got loyalty to Palace because they were the club that he started his career at. Plus, he went to Manchester United and he failed. He kind of fell on his arse there, and not really through any fault of his own. It was too big, too much too soon for him. But I would say that.
Could he do what Pogba did?
No. And plus, it hasn't really worked out. I would argue it hasn't really worked out for Paul Pogba. Doing what he did, leaving and then coming back. I don't see why they would sign Zaha. I know Tottenham were linked with him, and then Arsenal, the two North London clubs, were both linked with him. I thought it was Arsenal. I think it was both. I thought, but I just don't see that happening at all. I just don't see Zaha leaving Palace. I think he's content to be the big fish in a small pond there. He's clearly their highest earner. He's going to be their highest. They're going to give him a fat new contract at the end of his current one because they'll be desperate to keep him.
I mean, if he's happy there, then and he's willing to stay there, and what's even there? What are they fighting for?
Nothing. Premier League football.
Nothing. They're just because they're not. They're not. I don't think Crystal Palace for a while have been in danger of going down. So I think they're too good to go down. But then they're never going to get anywhere higher than mid-table.
No, but then the Crystal Palace hierarchy would then argue, well, we've seen other clubs get rid of managers that play this similar style. You see, Stoke they got too big for their boots and ended up going down after getting rid of Pulis, and then Bolton, Blackburn, who else? There are so many clubs. Sunderland.
Yeah, but each club's different. I mean, thing is, I want to say with Bolton and particularly Sunderland and Hull and that, they were just terrible teams. They went down because quality wasn't good enough. I'm not. As I said, Palace. I don't think any danger going. Even if they change their manager, I'm not saying they should, but if they did change their manager because they want to be a bit more positive and aim to get as high as they possibly can, and go further, I still don't think there'd be any danger going down.
I just want to interject and say, lest we forget, they did have a manager that could have done that, and he got sacked after 7 or 8 games because he lost them all. Frank de Boer.
I mean, Frank de Boer, every time he's done a post-match interview, I think I was having trouble understanding him. I mean, that's not me saying I have anything against Dutch people. I love Dutch people.
Especially Van Dijk.
Yes, I mean, Van Dijk and Wijnaldum and that, and mighty, respect for all of them.
Dennis Bergkamp's my favourite Dutchman. Just love him.
That's what I mean. Dennis Bergkamp is one, Johan Cruyff and
I can
Ruud
say
Gullit and that.
I can say I'm honestly shocked that Dennis Bergkamp never became a manager.
Does he seem the type?
I'm absolutely shocked that he never became a manager, or that Arsenal never approached him to be manager. Because he was never manager of Ajax. I would have made him manager of Ajax, but he's currently, I think he's the assistant manager there. He's been assistant. He's been at that club for years as a behind the scenes. But
I didn't realise.
I know he's yeah. Bergkamp was somebody that I always saw being a manager and just never happened. And I'm really not. I mean, he was he was the assistant manager for Ajax from 2011 to 2017, but he's never been a manager, and I'm just a bit kind of considering the style of football that he'd most likely play, that total football style. He'd probably play that style. Let's face it. I'm surprised a club hasn't snapped him up at any point, but Going back to the original point of Sheffield United having finally won, do we still see Chris Wilder leaving, being sacked?
Depends on the reaction.
Oh, your microphone's gone. Hang on. There you go. Yeah, there you go. You're back. Sorry, you went all quiet then.
Oh, sorry. I would say it depends on the reaction to this win. If they can get a little bit of a run going, then I would say, I would say, absolutely, they'll stick with them. I think if they go back on a losing spree.
Well, I think they're losing their next 3 games anyway, because it's against Tottenham, Manchester United, and Manchester City. So,
the thing is, it's very likely that they'll lose them.
Yeah.
Who knows what could happen? Who honestly knows what could happen?
It's the West Brom game that they need to win.
Well, that's what I mean. I think they need to win that. It was like I was saying last week, wasn't it? I think the hierarchy of Sheffield United are probably still hesitant about who to get. Because the amount of money Premier League clubs lose at the moment. They're probably still hesitant to go. As I said last week, they have to pay out Wilder's contract and then find someone else who's willing to come in and save them. I mean.
And Wilder's a fan of the club as well, so
exactly.
It's not like he's not trying his best. It's not like he doesn't care, because he does. He lives and breathes. You cut him open, he bleeds Sheffield United.
Exactly. I mean, who are you gonna get? Bloody Alan Pardew.
I think my pick was Slaven Bilic.
You did, yeah. I mean, would you see him putting the same effort in as Wilder?
Probably not. No,
So
he's got no connection to Sheffield.
that's what I mean. Like, of course, a connection itself. He's got a bit more than just a connection like that. I mean, I actually think Chris Wilder's a very good manager. He just hasn't got the players for whatever reason. They just have not turned up this season at all. I think doing what he did last season, it could only be seen for one season, and they're just very rigid in their tactics. There's no real plan B at all. And even when they're trying to play how they played last season, the goalkeeper's different, not as good. The defenders are just gone woeful. As I don't know why you know, they bought Phil Jagielka in what because he used to play there like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, he's literally like I've seen 6-year-olds run fast on him, and they're playing him as like the center of a back three. I'm just thinking, what are you doing?
It's 1-0 by the way to Leicester City. Maddison with the goal in that game, and currently it's 1-0 to Swansea City away at Barnsley, which is half-time in the Championship. Do you think Sheffield United will settle for what a job like if they did keep Wilder in charge? Do you think they'd settle for what Daniel Farke has done at Norwich City, where they've gone down and Norwich City looks certain to go back up? So do you think Sheffield United would settle for being a yo-yo club if Chris Wilder could stabilise them?
I think so. I mean, the thing with Norwich is that they looked well out of place, like well below par in the Premiership, but in the Championship, obviously, I think they're comfortably favourites to go back up because they're first now.
Yeah, they are a
I
mile.
think
I would suggest they're miles better than their competition.
yeah, they're just a bit too good for the Championship. They're one of those in between clubs. So I think if Chris Wilder could get a striker in, because I know it didn't end the season as it started, but Norwich had Timu Pukki, didn't he? And
Yeah,
he's
he's the
guaranteed goal scorer.
third or fourth top goal scorer in the Championship at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, something like that. So but he scores goals. He's doing something that Sheffield United aren't doing. I reckon if they could get a goal scorer, and if they get Adam Armstrong in, steady things, so they don't go down completely embarrassed, and then do a little bit of whatever reinforcement you can in the summer, and then come back up, next season.
Mm.
If they could do that, I reckon they could do that. But they need to get some better.
I could see them doing
in.
that, just being a bit of a yo-yo club for a bit. I'd be happy with that if I was a Sheffield. Because let's face it, they've never. I don't think they haven't successfully had multiple seasons in the Premier League since the 90s, if at all.
Right, yeah.
So, just to be in the Premier League, I would suggest is great for not only Sheffield United but the city of Sheffield, considering it is the birthplace of the game. So, maybe they could have Marcelo Bielsa. Leeds fans.
What a transition.
Leeds fans, not proper ones, more of a. Well, the one on TalkSport had more of a London twang to his accent, so I don't really think he's a Leeds fan. Was like, yeah, if we keep Bielsa in charge, we're going to go down. Well, okay, they lost 1-0 to Brighton today. This is the biggest load of bollocks I've ever heard.
I think, for me, I think Marcelo Bielsa, I don't know why I'm going on to this first, but I think Marcelo Bielsa is a bit of a luxury manager, because he's not. Yeah, he's the foreigner. He has the translator sitting next to him. I feel sorry for that kid sitting next to him. So he always just looks a bit lost, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he speaks down slow, and he's all about the samba football and that. He's just a bit too exotic at the moment. I think he's a good manager with the right players. I think with the right players, he could do very good. He's just come up for the Championship. As I was saying to you before, I love how he's going for it every match. But there's as I said to you before, there's such a thing as leaving a bit too much space behind you.
Yeah, I agree. They just it's just attack is the best form of defense. Is just all out attack is the best form of defense. But as you know, I just love it when teams just go. I just like it, and Leeds aren't this team, but I just like it when crap teams just go. And Leeds aren't that, by the way. That's not me saying Leeds are a crap team. Leeds have much more quality than that.
Club.
They're a big club, and they do have quality. But I just like it when the bottom teams just go, fuck it. Why don't we just send everybody forward because we're not going to stay up anyway? Kind of like what Fulham are doing now. Although they never really changed their philosophy, Fulham. But you know, that's what I think Sheffield United need to do. That's what I think Chris Wilder needs to do. He should just go, fuck it. We're not going to stay up anyway. We might as well throw the kitchen sink at them.
Yeah, but then Leeds. I don't think Leeds themselves are saying, well, there's no chance we're going to stay up, so we may as well just go for it. No. I think they're legitimately saying, you know what, this is the right way of playing. But they think it's sustainable. They think, oh yeah, we'll do this and we'll, you know.
I think they'll suffer from burnout. I think they'll burn out.
It's just not. It's as I said, it's not sustainable. Eventually, and what's happening is that they're getting caught out.
Yeah.
As I said, I think what happened was their first match of the season was against us, and they caught us by surprise. You know, I think our quality won at the end, but I think after that match, everyone was like, "Whoa, you know, let's you know, we see what they're about now."
Yeah. I do, honestly, any Leeds fans that want Bielsa gone.
I think he's a very good manager. I don't think he was a top 3 in the men's FIFA coaches awards. I don't think he's that level.
I don't know. I think he is with the right team, but he needs the right set of players and the right. You know, if you're going to play that way, you need the right. He is the ultimate chess player in football.
Which?
Bielsa. I think he's a chess player, and I think you just need the right pieces in place, and he doesn't have it at Leeds.
Yeah, but he doesn't need just 1 or 2 of the right pieces. He needs a full 11.
He needs 11 players. 11 of the right pieces.
He needs to handpick his 11 pieces. He can't just pick 1 or 2 star players and go, yeah, let's throw a bit of riffraff and then see what happens. And he needs to meticulously craft his team and almost brainwash them to the exact way he wants them to do things. If one person's off even just a tiny bit, the system collapses.
Yeah.
If one person runs, the whole team needs to run. And they need to run and run and run. And if one person isn't running as hard or as fast as the other 9-10 players, then that gets exploited, especially at the top level, which the Premier League is the top level. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening. It's just they're leaving too many space for quality. Premier League is not. I think it's at the point where it's got its most quality that it's had in years. Any team can beat anyone, I think.
I mean, yeah, they just, you know, I hear all the plaudits to how they play.
I don't want to say it's naive going, playing the same way against every single team, whether it's, against the sort of top 6 or whether it's against, mid-table, rivals. I'm not going to say it's naive. I think it's brave, especially when you play the better teams. But I think there's got to be a bit of a tactical know-how. It's just to go, you know what? We know that if we exert ourselves too much, push too many people forward, don't want to get caught out. I think there's got to be a little. I think if he keeps on playing the same way and we keep on seeing the same kind of goals conceded by them, and he doesn't change it, then I would say, okay, he's blatantly ignoring this gaping hole he's got at the back here. Then I would say, okay, now he's been a bit tactically naive now because he's not rectifying areas of improvement.
I was going to say, if you look at his managerial track record, he doesn't last long at clubs, and the longest club he's ever managed is Leeds United. That's the longest club he's ever been at. So he doesn't seem... either his style starts to decline the form, or the players just don't want to play it anymore, and then he just ends up leaving. Because it is you have to give 110% every game, all day, every game for 90 minutes. If you give 100% for 1 minute of the game, then you're 1-0 down. So you have to give 110%. And I think there is an aura around Bielsa where not as talented players think this guy can turn me into a superstar, and I think there is that at Leeds.
This guy's a god. If I just listen to what he says, every single word, he's gonna turn me into a world-class player. That's especially when you hear managers like Guardiola eulogizing about him, putting him on this pedestal of this guy taught me everything I know.
Yeah. And
if Pep
you hear
Guardiola,
what Guardiola and Poch have to say about him. Yeah,
exactly.
You hear you just hear that. I remember
I think Pochettino and Guardiola are better managers than him. Well, you won't think Guardiola is.
I don't think either of them are. To be honest, I think he is a very good manager. I think if he was given a better,
well, who could you see him doing well with? It would have to be the best team in that league. They wouldn't give it to him.
And that's about it.
They wouldn't give it to him.
That's about it. Real Madrid or Bayern. That's about it. It's a list of two.
I was thinking Bayern myself, but then I was thinking, especially at the moment, Bayern are just doing too well with their.
They are just fantastic at the moment. They are the best team in Europe, in my opinion. At the moment, Bayern, they're just fantastic the way that they're playing. They're probably going to, unfortunately, they're probably going to win the Champions League again. Come on, 1860! They're playing on Monday at 6 p.m. UK time. German football.
What position
YouTube
in the third Bundesliga are they now?
Oh, I think they're in the top 7. I haven't looked at it for a while, but their games keep getting broadcast on YouTube, so I am
you check them out,
very much happy. 6 o'clock on Monday, 6 p.m. Monday. The German football YouTube channel. They're third at the moment. 4 points behind Ingolstadt, who are second, and Dynamo Dresden are top on 35 points. So, and unfortunately, trying to find out. The second team or the third team in Munich are currently fourth. So actually, 2 Munich clubs are third and fourth in the third division in Germany. 1860 are third, and then Tegucigalpa Munich are fourth. They're the Turkish team. But 1860 playing on Monday at 6 p.m. Got to love a bit of 1860 Munich. Quickly, no win in 6 for Wolves. Should they be worried?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think Nuno's got enough about him. Plus, I love his name and I love his beard.
I like the way he doesn't apologise for criticising referees. Badass.
I think every
fucking
should
badass.
Be like that. I think every man should be like that.
Yeah,
I just love it. Say within reason.
I just apologise for the timing of my comments, but do you actually apologise for the comments, Nuno? No.
Nope.
Nope.
Why would I?
Why would I apologise?
He's a man who stands up for his beliefs, and I like that about him. I think he's a very good manager. I wouldn't take anything of it. I think he's had a couple of injuries. A couple of the players haven't been, totally up for it. But I wouldn't be too concerned. I still reckon they're going to be okay. Absolutely, I think they'll be okay. Yeah.
Let's look ahead to tomorrow, Sunday, the 17th of January. As I ask the question, I don't know if you received your script for pre-season, but it told me Manchester United were going to be shit this season. And somehow, despite crashing out of the Champions League, they are top of the Premier League. Did I just miss something? Did I miss the memo or something?
Well, to be fair, the script was followed for the first part of the season.
Exactly.
You only need to look at them crashing out of the Champions League. There's the 6-1 against Spurs. They were pretty bang average. Obviously, it's turned round, and you know what? I'm not going to be scared to say that they've been helped by referees and VAR. They have been. I think they've had, on average, just way more penalties than everyone else, and lots of them have been soft.
Was it against Southampton they had a penalty? And no, it wasn't against Southampton. It was against someone. I remember doing this show with you, and there was a penalty, and the goalkeeper came off his line, so it had to be retaken because it was initially saved, but he came off his line.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Bruno Fernandes got another chance. I can't remember who it was against,
That
though.
was.
I can't remember who it
remember.
was. Can't remember who it was, but
Well,
I thought
yeah,
it might have been Southampton.
and then getting the penalty against Brighton after the final whistle was blown.
Yeah.
That kind of BS. I vividly remember the one against Aston Villa when Fernandes actually his foot went downtrodden on the defender's. I think it was Ezri Konsa's ankle, but Fernandes went down screaming his head off, and they got given it for it. He should have been like booked for his tackle on the defender, and they get a penalty for it. But Pogba's against Aston Villa when he goes down from Douglas Luiz, tangled legs. It's two players going for it. It's contact sport, but they had a pen for it. It's just far more than everyone other club this season. They just had decisions more favourably going their way.
It was against Aston Villa.
Was it against Villa, was it?
Yeah. It was against Villa.
But, forgetting the VR thing, because that's another, we've had that conversation, it'll just wind me up. They've deservedly got back in their thing because I think, the main one is Bruno Fernandes. He's just been, they're comparing him to Cantona, which is funny. All you need him to do is go on.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but he is no Cantona. Because he has not come out and done a press conference about seagulls.
All he needs to do is do that and do a karate kick against someone in the crowd.
Preferably a Crystal Palace fan.
Yeah.
Or just do Roy Hodgson.
Perfect, yeah. But
do it to Roy Hodgson.
So, he has been their best player. So, by far. Pogba's finally decided to actually give a crap. Harry Maguire's actually stopped being completely shit.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think it's got like this. I think they should be second. I personally, just as a Liverpool fan, think we should be. We haven't been good enough. I think we should be walking this league. I think Man United have got to where they are as sort of, higher than everyone else and compete with us because, one, everyone else has been terrible, and two, they've managed to do what they haven't been able to do in a while, which is grind out results. As I said, some have been lucky, some have been undeserved, personally. But you can't deny they've, especially away from home, they're doing what we can't do, which is actually play well.
I was going to say let Manchester United fans just bask in this because they haven't been top of the league for 3.5 years.
I've given them a little small bit of time now. Come tomorrow, I want blood.
Yeah. Ole has never been top of the league as Manchester United manager, so as far as he's concerned, he's won it. Tomorrow at 4:30, the big game. It's at Anfield. No fans, obviously, unfortunately, with the current global bastard that's going on. Liverpool have played the same amount of games as Manchester United, so a win would put them level on points. Obviously, Leicester City winning, they'll just be a point behind on 35. Man City, if they win their match, they'll be on 35 as well. Arguably, it's one of the more interesting title races because it's been such a weird season, but that Manchester United being top just struck me as odd because I thought they were crap. Considering that we were talking about Ole getting sacked.
Well, yeah, because they've been average for that long. That, as I said, if it wasn't for Bruno Fernandes, they'd be mid-table.
I mean, it does help when you get 2 penalties in one game to be able to retake them and things like that.
Yeah,
and go back to refereeing points.
As I said, we've gone about them, and you'll get people will just call anyone who says this will just call me a bitter, biased Liverpool fan, and I'll admit I'm biased. I'm not bitter. I'm not going to say, oh, United are lucky, whatever, because I'll say some parts are lucky, but I'll say the majority of the results have been they found a bit of backbone to themselves, a bit of a spine, a bit of bottle about them. As I said, they've been grinding out results, and they've been really good away from home. I mean, bloody hell, they started playing well at home. Who knows?
Yeah,
it's going to be weird, isn't it? Because like the opposite of us, we've been doing really well at home, terrible away. They've been doing terrible at home, but really good away. So it's going to be like, our favourable condition and their favourable condition. They're gonna have extra impetus because obviously they want to extend it to at least 6 points. But also they want to beat our 67 game unbeaten record at home. You know what? With that, it's probably got a draw written over it. But I'm just what I just want, and what I'm hoping is just us to turn up, look like we give a shit. And I'm praying and I'm hoping and I'm secretly like really giddy about is Thiago Alcantara having Bruno Fernandes on toast.
Yeah, buttered him up nice and spread him, butter him up, and just having him in his pocket. I will say, since you won't be, because you don't want to be accused of bias, I will say Manchester United have been lucky with the injuries that Liverpool have suffered. I think if I said at the start of the season, if Liverpool had one focus, if they focus on one competition, didn't get massive injuries, then they'd easily walk this league. Because I don't see any other team being as good as Liverpool. And I think you know me, I'm not a Liverpool fan. I've had to put up with non-Liverpool fans all my life saying, "Oh yeah, we're the greatest team ever." We're the worst kind of supporters, not the proper fans. Yeah. I will say this, it's not the proper Liverpool fans, it's just people that attach themselves to that club that make them seem arrogant. The kind of, so not the proper fans, but I've grew up with those lot, and I gotta be honest, I never wanted Liverpool to win the league because of that, but actually it is actually nice to watch them win. It was nice to watch them win. It was nice for Jurgen Klopp to win, because actually, to be fair, if you did a poll of football fans, actually, to be fair, they probably wanted Jurgen Klopp to win the league title because he's a marvellous guy. And I saw them winning the league title. I saw them walking away with it. I just saw them, and obviously with the injuries, that hasn't happened. I wouldn't worry if I was a Liverpool fan, because I still think you're better by bloody miles than Manchester United and City and. I mean, Leicester, I don't see. I think Leicester, for them, they want the old Arsenal for the trophy for winning fourth. And Leicester, I think Tottenham have faltered now. Leicester
this season remind me of Leicester last season, where they'll get really, really good, chasing all the way, and they'll just slowly slip away towards the end.
Yep.
That's what I mean. People going, oh yeah, I think City will definitely catch up. But then people were saying about Chelsea and Tottenham. That's like,
I think they've faltered both of those. 6th and 7th. Tottenham are on 30 points, so they're 6 points behind United, having played the same amount of games. And then obviously Chelsea have just played. They've played one more, but they're on 29 and in 7th place. But Tottenham and Chelsea are not in this title race. They are out of it. And if you're going to include Tottenham and Chelsea, then you've got to include Southampton and West Ham, and that is a massive extension of you've got to consider the top 9 clubs. Then
I mean, the thing is, they're that close in points. The top 9. If you may as well include everyone,
I mean, if I really wanted to be contrary about it, I could just go as far down as Villa in 10th, or even Arsenal or Leeds in 12th, because it's not a million. Heck, even Crystal Palace down in 13th. They're not a million miles away. They're only 13 points behind. But still, my pre-season prediction was for Liverpool to retain the title. Not enough has happened for me to change my mind. You know that guy. You know that meme of the guy that sits on a desk that says, "Oh, your favorite film is absolutely terrible. Come fight me on this, or come and change my mind." Liverpool are still going to win this league. Come change my mind.
Yeah, to be honest, the main thing that's keeping me sort of optimistic is the fact that as long as we can stay up there, we've still got players to come back.
Yeah, and
we've
when
got
is
players.
Van Dijk? When is Van Dijk's the big one for me? When's he meant to come back?
I think. Well, I think. Murmurs I've heard about. It might be sort of early March.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm looking at this article from Goal, and it's just saying there is no date set for Van Dijk return, which is worrying, says John Arnerisa.
It's what?
Worrying, says John Arnerisa.
What? There's no what date?
There's no date, and to be fair, John Arnerisa did also say that he can't see Liverpool spending, despite the injuries.
No, we're not going to, because the club have got it in their head that it's they want long term things. If the right person isn't available, then they're just not going to do business. I mean, for me, I think the club won't put a timescale on Van Dijk, because then if he doesn't, if they say, oh yeah, it's going to be this date on this month, and if he doesn't hit that, then all that does is cause the media feel they're going, oh well, what's happened? Why isn't he back? What, is he having problems and all kinds of bloody conspiracies happening?
As Sky Sports News often do.
Yeah, actually, they'll come up with all sorts. He's ruptured his other knee now or something like that. But no, from what I've seen of him, as he's doing his rehab. I've seen pictures of him doing rehab on the bike a lot. He's getting there. When it happens,
you just can't rush it, can you?
Yes, I mean, they're not going to force him. They're not going to say, we need you back. Even though, everyone like mine, they're probably like, they do need him back. We really do.
You can't rush him, because that'll
exacerbate it. We want him to be 100%, because if he comes back at even like less than 100%, like 99%, and that little 1% causes something else to happen, then we're then screwed then. I think the thing about not buying anyone this season, if you want to go into that in January, from what I've heard also, is that it's because we're looking at a big purchase in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've heard rumours that it's going to sound ridiculous, but we've been linked with Mbappe and Haaland.
I heard Mbappe.
Yeah, well, apparently it might not be the next summer, but might be this summer, next summer. Haaland's got like a release clause in his contract. I think if we're not going to sign centre back in January, we just definitely need one this summer. Definitely. I just don't, because I've seen people online going on about like, if we don't sign centre back in January, then Liverpool are basically saying, yeah, we don't care about the league, we don't care about getting another Champions League and stuff like that. I still think we have enough for the league. I think it's going to be tough, but I think with COVID that we always knew it wasn't going to be as easy. Well, I'm not saying easy, but as straightforward last season. Because last season we just beat everyone.
I mean, you had such a mammoth. I'm going to take the opposite opinion of you. I think because of COVID, it is easier on Liverpool, because I think that because of the no fans situation, I think because you guys are hungry. You guys are hungry for more success because of the fact that you spent so long without a league title and you finally won one. And I think if the fans were in there, I think it would be a cauldron of pressure unlike we've ever seen before in the last however many years of the Premier League, in the last 20, 30 years of the Premier League.
Yeah, I get that, but on the other side of things, if you the other side of the coin, I think we play better with fans, especially at home. At home, we just tend we've been okay at home without fans. We still had a couple of decent results like Wolves and Leicester at home. But I just think, especially the last couple of seasons at home with fans, pretty much unstoppable. I think, to be honest, I think the club and the fans are just desperate for a chance to actually celebrate the league, last season's league. I mean, wouldn't it be funny if we get a second one? We have to, there's a bus parade, there's a parade. And there's two league
Premier
titles.
League trophies. Like, which one's the real one?
Yeah, one's a cheap knockoff. Yeah. I'm just glad that we're thereabouts with the injuries we've had, because, and I'll say we put ourselves in a position where we're having to put midfielders at centre back because we haven't really got the only fit senior centre half we've got is barely ever fit himself. So we've put ourselves in that situation. But then what that does is, I don't know if I've said this to you before, but it's a chain reaction, because then we take our best midfielders out of the midfield, then therefore the midfield suffers, and then because we haven't got that engine room in the midfield. We have to play with kids at centre back, which means the fullbacks can't get forward, which means the front three don't get the service they usually get. So not having Van Dijk there, and associate that would be Gomez as well, because he's his main partner. It just affects the whole team so much.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to get you to do a bit of Martin Lawrenson's work in Predict Liverpool versus Manchester United tomorrow at 4:30.
I'd like to say 2-0, but I think they're probably going to score a goal. No, look, it'll be a penalty and it'll be a ridiculous decision. So I'm going to say 2-1.
I love it when you get angry about referees. It's very entertaining.
Honestly, you'll be the first person I speak to tomorrow.
I think if I was a better friend to you, I'd say get therapy, because it's going to take the amount of anger and stress from refereeing decision is going to take years off your life.
It's just, to be honest, it's not even like just tomorrow. Yeah. So I know there's going to be. I've gotten used to bad referees, and I don't know how that's even possible. Referees, like, why can't we import foreign referees from the other leagues in Europe, because they're just better?
Well,
every referee in who does the Premier League, whether they're on VAR, whether they're the fourth official, they're just terrible. I don't know what they're training them, but they're just terrible.
I think it would help if we could hear what the referees would if they're all mic'd up like it rugby, like in rugby, yeah.
Rugby, you can hear everything, and there's just everything, and there's just
because if you can understand the referee's reasoning, then you can be at least a little bit more sympathetic towards their position.
Now, the way it is in the Premier League, you just see them with their stoic face or with almost a smug look about them. They'll blow, or they'll go to the monitor, barely look at it.
They'll just stand there like this,
stand like that, and then they'll go, and then and then point to the thing, but then you'll have like this. Oh, it's just.
Yeah, then they'll take.
If you actually hear them explain it and actually hear their point of view, rather than make them stand like a tit that they are.
Yeah.
And it's like F you referees.
You know what I love, which is now a modern phenomenon because of VAR. If they send a player off and it gets rescinded, they have to get the red card out again, show them, and go.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, and then go put that back in the pocket.
I find that freaking hilarious. Why can't he just go up to him and just go, "Yeah, you're not sent off, mate. Just play on."
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah,
sorry about that. Sorry for me making a mistake.
I can actually admit myself I've made a mistake. I know this is new, but I can actually admit I've made a mistake.
Oh God, it's brought in. Yeah, go on.
If you even begin to insinuate that the referee's made a mistake, can't do that.
Yeah, look at Nuno. Yeah, look at Nuno as Wolves.
I love that is that he got his fine. He got fined. And then he was like, "Oh, you're going to apologise for the time, but are you going to apologise for actually saying it?" No. Like, good on you, Nuno, because he didn't give a crap. What does fining actually do? Nothing. They just pay it off and then they'll carry on criticising because that's what you should be allowed to do.
Yeah,
I don't get all of it. Like the grown ass men. Like I get it. They're in a high pressure situation. They're human. They make mistakes.
Yeah.
But admit those mistakes.
Oh yeah. They should admit
Be
those
allowed
mistakes,
to be open to explanation and criticism and discussion. That's how everyone improves. Because if people are allowed to say to you, "You didn't do so well that match. This is what you didn't do so well," and it opens referees to go, "You know what? I'll try and change that."
Yeah, I know, I completely agree, but that's it for that, and I expect Liverpool to. Actually, no, you scared me now because you said earlier that you think it was a 0-0 draw. I think it might be a draw.
No, I said it'd be a draw. I didn't say 0-0. Trust me, if it's a 0-0, bloody hell. But no, just talking about that. Have you seen what's been going on with bloody Clattenburg this week?
No idea. Inform me.
Oh, honestly, like it's bad. Like he was because I think Jürgen was talking about the amount of penalties that Man United got. Just statistically, they've had more since Ollie took in charge than Liverpool have had since Jürgen took in charge. Like 5 years, more than 2 years than Liverpool had 5 years. And he was saying, "Look, the stats are this is this," and then Mark Clattenburg, for some reason, comes out and goes, "Oh yeah, well, back when Alex Ferguson was in charge, the biases." He said it's eased since then, so he admitted that Alex Ferguson had a bias with the referees. But then he was like, "Oh yeah, Jürgen's playing mind games." Something, and Jürgen was like, obviously, he got asked about in his press conference, and he was like, "Well,
You've just admitted that there was more favourable.
Why is Mark Clattenburg commenting? He says, "I don't." He says when they talk about stuff like that, he says it says more about them than me.
Yeah.
He says I'm not. I don't. He says I don't have the skills, the know-how to play mind games with people. I just say what I want to say, basically. I'm sort of quoting in my own words what he said.
Yeah.
And Mark I think came out and another thing was like, I've never trying to backpedal saying, I never admitted that there was bias from referees to United during Alex Ferguson's reign. So he's almost like he's backpedaling it in a bit of like, I shouldn't have said that.
You know what? This reeks of Mark Clattenburg trying to stay relevant.
That's what I mean. Like he's clearly admitted that there's bias, and he's now trying to insinuate that Jürgen's playing mind games. That's all he's trying to do. Because he's clearly well, I'm not saying clearly, but of course I call him and Buddy Martin Tyler a massive Man United fan. Howard Webb was a massive Man United fan because he was one of the worst ones.
Yeah, Fergie time. Time was always
honestly, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a bit videos out there of all Man United's penalties this season, and there's so many of them that are so dubious. It's unbelievable.
I'm just going through some of the articles, and this one's from the Liverpool Echo, and he said, and I'm just reading it, and he's accused him of playing mind games.
Yeah,
ahead of the.
It's like actually, it's like the day before. It's the day before the biggest match of the season, and Mark Clattenburg's come out and just talking nonsense.
Yeah, and Clattenburg has said that Manchester United used to have an aura about them, so. When Fergie was in charge, that may have helped influence certain decisions. And Clattenburg said to the Daily Mail, the Daily Fail, I was disappointed, if not surprised, by the reaction of Liverpool supporters. What the fuck? How could you be surprised by Liverpool fans going, well, we fucking knew you were all a bunch of biased pricks to Manchester United, and heck, I'm not even a Liverpool fan, and I reckon, there was always the Fergie time joke, and, so it's nothing new. We all kind of knew it, and that's why as a manager, that's why and I think Jurgen doesn't do this because he's... Well, I don't think... there are certain managers that I talk about being too nice. I would be a manager constantly calling out referees on the touchline. I'd probably get sent off more times, because I'd want to put them under pressure to make more favourable decisions. Now with VAR, that kind of antics can be eliminated.
I don't think Jurgen's too nice. He's very, because he's trust me, you've seen him on the sidelines. He's got booked loads of times for his antics.
Oh, I've seen him lose his shit on the sidelines.
Yeah, he loses shit, but during interviews and that, and during press conferences, he's just very
well spoken.
Yeah, so I mean, he just says, look, I just do what I need to do, and if you want to make comments about what I've said and make comments themselves, I mean, basically, Mark Clattenburg's season, he's made himself look like a tit. He's made himself look like a tit.
He has, and I'm just reading it further, but he's made himself look like a right tit. I wasn't even aware of that, so thank you for bringing that to my attention.
No, it's fine, but he's doing it like right before the Liverpool United match. It's like, why? You don't need to say anything. Why are you trying to say something? Because you're trying to put us off. You're trying to create drama out of nothing about our manager because you don't like Liverpool.
I will just say it's Barnsley 0, Swansea 2 in the Championship, and still 1-0 to Leicester City against Southampton. Half an hour to go. We are out of talking points. It's time to go to transfer rumours, because it is a January transfer window. So let's find out what bollocks the Sky Sports News will be talking about for the next however many days of the transfer window. What is it, 14 days left? 14 days to go?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
15 days, because it's January 31st, isn't it?
Or I thought it was February 1st.
Or maybe, it is February 1st, actually. Yeah, it's Monday, yeah. So it's 16 days. 16 days. So let's see what Sky Sports News will be talking about. This one has come out of nowhere, and this one, to me, proves that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Because Christian Eriksen is apparently keen on a return to Tottenham Hotspur. Now, I watched the Amazon series. If I was a Tottenham fan, I'd stand there at the gates as he tried to get in and go, fuck off. I'd literally stand there going like that. Just piss off back to Milan, you ungrateful bastard. But, apparently he's keen on returning to Tottenham because, let's face it, Inter Milan, kind of shit. And he's not exactly set the world on fire in Italy.
To be fair, I mean, on Inter Milan like second or third, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, but they're out of the Champions League.
He doesn't. No, I mean, yeah, I've been woeful on that. But the thing is, I haven't really seen him get many chances. I haven't seen him get that many real chances. I mean, the way they play, it's Conte, isn't it? He plays was it like a 3-5-2 or something, and he does play with a cam, but he hasn't been playing Eriksen there a whole lot because he has Lukaku and Martinez up front, and he has someone there in number 10, but he did play there Eriksen there sometimes, but a lot of time he's been coming on as a sub. And some games a lot. Yeah.
He's only appeared 39 times since signing for just under £17 million. So 39 appearances. And what's he got to show for it? And it's less than 12 months ago that he joined, because he left in January he only had 6 months left on his Spurs contract, so he forced to move out of there because he wanted to join Inter, because he thought it'd be bigger and better things, and it turns out the grass isn't greener on the other side.
No, I mean, he got to Champions League final with Spurs against us.
Yeah.
And then
he thought he'd cash in on that.
Well, he thought that was the height that he could get to. Thing is that Mourinho, he won't go back there just simply because they don't play with that kind of player. Look at Dele Alli. He plays in that same position, and he
can't get games.
Go back. United with Pochettino, PSG. That's what I've seen.
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't sign Christian Eriksen based on the fact that,
No, I don't think he'll go back to Spurs. I don't know where he's going to go if he's going to go somewhere.
I just wouldn't sign him. I wouldn't sign him if I was anybody. I'd like Dele Alli's there. I'd sign Dele Alli.
I don't think Dele Alli's that good.
I think he's good if he's managed correctly and played in the right position.
Publicly, lambasted on that documentary, Dele Alli.
He did. To be fair.
If I was him, I'd sue Mourinho for his comments about him.
Lazy trainer, wasn't it? Lazy in training.
To the owner, the CEO, and then that was then filmed and seen by millions of people. Like that's like defamation of character. That can be sued.
Yeah. But apparently Jose Mourinho wants to bring Christian Eriksen back on loan till the end of the season. I was going to say, you've got Gareth Bale on loan. You've barely... Okay, there are apparently complicated reasons as to why he's not playing Gareth Bale, but they've barely used Bale. So, don't sign Christian Eriksen. Just, play Dele Alli. You've already got a player there. Just use him. If you want that kind of player, use him. You've already got one. Unless you're going to sell Dele Alli to PSG.
Don't play that system where they could have something like that, because they'll have the mid. Who do they play in midfield? They got Højbjerg, Sissoko.
Oh, we're losing you. We've got not your signal. It's just your mic. The microphone. There we go.
Yeah, no, they're not playing with like sort of a attacking midfield. They're playing with sort of a DM in Højbjerg, and then two box to box in Lo Celso or Ndombele with Sissoko. They're not really sort of attacker mind. They're all box to box or DMs, and then they've obviously got Kane, Son, and Bergwijn or Moura on the right. So
they don't need Christian Eriksen.
Well, the thing is, if they needed that kind of player, they just play Dele Alli.
Yeah, and they don't.
So they're not playing Dele Alli, then definitely Eriksen either. Not coming back to us anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't see. They don't need Christian Eriksen. Moving on, and a story that we told you about last week, apparently set to be confirmed, is Mesut Ozil's release from Arsenal. It's set to be confirmed. Reports. There are reports circulating now that Mesut Ozil is set to be released by Arsenal and is closing in on a free transfer to Fenerbahce, with Arsenal set to terminate his contract. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp admits he's tried to lessen expectations on Thiago Alcantara by suggesting he is like a new signing for January.
I hate when we say that. Oh, yeah, because we haven't had a player in such a long time. He's like a new signing when he's just not. I know it feels like it, but I hate that cliche. To be honest, I can't wait for. The thing is, he's saying he's trying to lessen expectations. I think it's not so much expectations; it's just the excitement, because everyone already knows how much of a good player he is. So I think we're just excited just to see him. Like anytime I see him come around, anytime I see any kind of videos about him, even just thinking that, oh my God, Thiago's playing for us, he just gets me excited. Yeah. So when I see him tomorrow on his Anfield debut, absolutely laughing at Bruno Fernandes when he just skips past him, then I will surely be in heaven then.
I'm sure you will. Manchester United are prepared to rival Chelsea for West Ham United midfielder Declan Rice in the summer. Not in the January window, but next summer. They're prepared. So it could be a bidding war between Manchester United and Chelsea for Declan Rice in the summer.
Saying this in the summer, they were saying, oh yeah, Chelsea are going to pay up to 80 million for him, and that was in the summer. He's not worth 80 million.
No, he's not.
he's good, but just because he's English now, he classifies as English now.
Mm.
Does not mean that his price is more than doubled what he should be. Maybe people should be paying for him.
I was going to say, if they're going to pay that much for Harry Maguire, which was a steal as far as I'm concerned, for Leicester, they robbed Manchester United from that.
Daylight. He wasn't even worth half of that.
No.
I don't know the world that Virgil van Dijk, when we bought him, wasn't worth more than Harry Maguire. And that's literally just the English tax. That Harry Maguire is nowhere near, has never been, and never will be near the quality of Virgil van Dijk.
Chelsea midfielder Danny Drinkwater, he's apparently about to sign on loan with the Turkish side Kasim Pasa.
I mean, I've never even heard of them.
Exactly, I've never heard of them.
Danny Drinkwater. I mean, him and Kante were like in that season for Chelsea. Like, he's got a Premier League title. He's got a winners medal for Premier League, and he's. I mean, I've never heard of that team in Chelsea in Turkey. That's how bad it's gone.
And
I think I know the names of a lot of teams in Europe, but I've never heard of that team in Turkey.
I'm just trying to find out more about them because I had never heard of them. Either they are 100 years old apparently, but I had never heard of them, and they are an Istanbul team. But at least, you know what it's time for. At least they have more history than Istanbul Başakşehir.
If you ever go to Istanbul, you're going to be cheering for them, aren't you?
Oh yes, totally. Sign me up. I'm their biggest fan, Istanbul Başakşehir. Yeah, who cares if the government owns them? Allegedly. That's how you need to win the league title. Get the government to buy you, although not the Tories, because they wouldn't. They don't even like feeding kids, let alone football. Former Manchester United manager, what do you make of this, Callum? Former Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson apparently wanted to sign Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson whilst the midfielder was at Sunderland.
I mean, he says that now, but and he makes reference to his comments he made when because he said I can't remember where it was, but he said, "Oh yeah, I don't like the way Jordan Henderson runs." And he's basically the honest thing they done recently. He said, "Oh yeah, it wasn't me who said that. It was the medical department and the scouts said he runs wrong. It wasn't me who said it all along." And I'm just sitting there going, "Shut up, Alex. You just
He's just sat in his retirement home now, just waiting for better day. Although he still turns up to Old Trafford every now and again, but even this year somehow. Somehow. Tottenham and England defender Danny Rose is set to snub West Brom in favour of a move overseas. Obviously, he's not in the Tottenham squad at the moment. He was falling out. And I mean, he doesn't even have a shirt number, but he's set to snub West Brom and wants to move overseas. I don't really see where he would go.
I mean, it could be literally anywhere.
I literally have no idea. I mean, Turkey?
It could be anywhere.
It depends,
Turkey seems like the favourite place to be now for all, out of favour Premier League players.
It just seems like it's always been that way.
He could follow his old pal Kieran Trippier to Atletico.
Oh God, I don't see Atletico signing Danny Rose. Come on, no, let's be.
Trippier?
I mean, that is true. Who is banned for however long? What is it for betting?
You know what you should do? Just get a big hot iron with the word "kit" on his head.
Kit. Kit on his head. Yes, not bad. What? That brings to mind a comedy show, and I can't remember which one it is, but it's like, I'm going to rip off your knob and staple it to your head. Oh no, I'm going to rip off your dick, staple it to your head, so everyone will know you're a dickhead. That's all I remember. I don't know where it's from, but that's what I remember. Oh.
Childish, kick me piece of paper and stick it on your back.
Apparently they did that at Barcelona with Messi, but it said tax evader on it. Allegedly.
Imagine doing that. Imagine his face.
He'd be like, I want this manager fired for doing that.
Imagine that. On Messi's back. That is.
And they just give him a shirt number instead of his shirt number. It's just a tax evader. Now on the pitch,
yeah, tax evader, and then instead of the number 10, just a euro sign.
Yeah, just the amount of money that he's evaded. Allegedly. Well, if they really do fall out with him, maybe they should do that.
No. Back when it came out, they said he was due in court. Like, he could have gone to prison.
I mean, that was never going to happen. Let's face it.
Just a massive fine. Just a massive fine.
Yeah.
Because of course you can't send a celebrity to prison, eh?
No.
The law, One rule for another. That's literally the mantra of the Tories: one rule for one, the other rule for another. Us rich, better off people. We're better than you, therefore we can follow our own rules. Sorry for going political.
I'm just looking at more transfer rumours for today. Another one concerning Liverpool, Gino Wijnaldum. According to Sky Sports News, he's going to snub Liverpool's last-ditch efforts to keep him at the club to fulfil a boyhood dream to Barcelona. That's listed on the Sky Sports website, but it's from the Daily Mirror.
That's a shite. I'm sorry I'm swearing, but that's a shower of shite. Where it's not a bloody boyhood dream to join Barcelona. So don't listen to what the Sky Sports there. Yeah, he doesn't want to sign up with us for another contract. He's going to join Barcelona. That's the only reason he wants to join Barcelona was because Ronald Koeman. And you know what? I love Gene Wijnaldum, so I'm not even going to say it's money, right? But it was never. Oh yeah, it's because of a boyhood dream. No, it wasn't. He never had a bloody boyhood dream to join Barcelona. It's just because of the Dutch links with Ronald Koeman. That's literally it. So don't give me that. But I've kind of come resigned to him. He's not going to join with us. I don't know why. Because apparently I don't want to believe that we're not offering enough money for him. I don't want to believe that at all. I think we've offered enough money. He's decided to faff about under the advice of his agent, and then who knows? But it's I don't think it's a money thing.
Yeah. Finally, then, in terms of transfer rumours, Barcelona, Ronald Koeman has revealed that they've turned down a transfer request from goalkeeper Neto. He is apparently wanted by Arsenal to provide competition for Leno, and even though they signed Renarsson in the summer, but apparently they're looking for essentially someone to replace Emiliano Martinez, who joined Aston Villa in the summer, but Renarsson has not replaced the goalkeeper adequately, according to club insiders. But
from what I've heard, with that, he's been playing under 23s and he's played a couple of League Cup matches, also Carabao Cup matches, and basically he's been terrible. So they want to get rid of him, but they need a number 2. So I've heard him linked with Neto from Barca. From all of it, he's all right. Bit strange that, but I hope.
So Barcelona manager Ronald Koeman has said he's turned down a transfer request from Neto. So it did look like the player wanted to join Arsenal, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. That was this week's edition of the Football Fan Show podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Danny Harrington. Thank you to my guest, Callum Brown. And don't forget, you can watch us every Saturday on twitch.tv/The Football Fan Show podcast. Search for our YouTube channel. It's The Football Fan Show Live. Follow us on Twitter at TFFS or go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Football Fan Show. And we will see you, the Football Fan Show team will see you next week. Have a great week. Bye.